What's up gamers, in today's video I'm going to be talking about all the characters that pair well with Clorinde and her kits. I'm going to be filling in on what she does, why these characters work so well with her, how she can be slot in teams with these characters, and so much more. I'm also hosting a Discord Nitro Welkin or Supply Pass giveaway in my Discord, so be sure to check it out. Anyway, since I hate long intros, and I know you probably do too, let's get straight into the video. I think that because Clorinde is one of the most hyped up characters in Genshin Impact, a lot of people are going to be pulling for her, but at the same time, a bunch of people are going to have almost zero primo gems and are definitely planning on wailing on her banner. And that's where Loot Bar comes in. Loot Bar is an 100% safe website you can use to buy Genesis crystals at a discounted price. On Genshin, if I were to buy this Genesis crystal pack, they would make me spend a whole $100, which I could have spent on my wife and kids. But when you use Loot Bar, it's only $85, saving me a whole $14, which I could spend on 3 Happy Meals at McDonald's. And because Loot Bar is such a generous website, you get 5% off on your first ever payment. There have been over 20,000 orders from Genshin users on Loot Bar, and none of them had any transaction issues because again, it's super safe and trustworthy because its system goes through Razor. It's also been rated 5 stars by multiple people, with it only needing your UID and server to make purchases. The Kaja, Jello Impact, Teva Times, and of course Elof 316 have all used it, and after making a purchase it can arrive in 30 minutes or less, with mine arriving in 45 seconds. So be sure to check the link in the description and pinned comments, save 20% off on your purchases, and get those Clorinde pulls ready, because you could end up like me and get Loot Bar primos and end up pulling for New Valette and getting him, and I know you want to be like that with whatever character you choose to pull for. Anyway, thank you Loot Bar for sponsoring today's video, but with that being said, let's continue with the actual video. So let's start off with the first character that pairs well with Clorinde. Fischl. Fischl is an amazing electro off-field sub DPS and fits well in Clorinde Quicken teams, mainly because of her high damage. Fischl would also be the second electro on the team, meaning she would activate electro resonance with Clorinde, which would help generate more energy for her, leading to Clorinde needing less energy recharge with her already decently low burst cost. Her burst also has an amazing animation which I can't show on YouTube, but join the Discord if you want to see it. And because Oz just continuously attacks the enemies when he's on field with his electro attacks, all you really need is someone that can apply a bunch of Dendro onto the enemies to proc Clorinde's passive and get 3 stacks, making Fischl a great character to pair with Clorinde. But now that we just brought up Dendro, let's talk about the next best character that pairs well with her. And to no one's surprise, it's the Dendro Archon Nahida. Nahida is one of the strongest characters we have in game, and she is also super strong when paired with Clorinde. She also buffs her, which is good, and just does Nahida things. Because with her Dendro application in a Quicken team, with just Fischl and Clorinde, they can continuously proc Aggravate and Quicken, helping her get stacks for her passive, which is primarily your main goal when building Clorinde teams, as well as of course helping her do a lot of damage. But Nahida is an overall great character to pair with Clorinde. The next best character is another Archon, Furina. Furina is good because of the amount of damage bonuses she gives to Clorinde. She's also good because she is Hydro and does a lot of damage from off field. Because of her Hydro element and Clorinde being Electro, they can continuously proc Electro Charge and make a Taser team. You could of course make a Taser team with a healer, which is what I think a lot of people are going to be doing, but if not, Clorinde can generate a bunch of fanfare because of the way she heals. Think about it. If she heals herself for 20% of her max HP every time you do her skill in a rotation, and you're going to be doing her skill a lot, she can generate a very good amount of fanfare just like New Valette. And because of Hydro and Electro creating Electro Charge multiple times, she gains her passive stacks, resulting in more damage. Also, if you're enjoying the video, wanna like, subscribe, and join my Discord down below. It's a super cool Discord server, and I'm currently hosting a Welkin, Supply Pass, and Discord Nitro giveaway, and I know that everybody watching this video right now would love to stand a chance to win those items, because who doesn't like free stuff? And even if you don't win, I've been doing giveaways for a long time, and I plan on doing a lot more in the future. And the fact that it only takes a few seconds to click the link in the description or pinned comment and join a super fun Discord server where you can talk with fun people and get free stuff is just amazing. If you need help with Genshin Impact, we have a channel to help. Need help with Honkai Star Rail? We've got that as well. So if that all sounds interesting to you, please consider joining. I would love to talk with you soon. Anyway, with that being said, let's talk about the next best character to pair with Clorinde, who is actually a healer, Baizhu. Even if Clorinde uses Bond of Life in her kit, she isn't as restrictive as Arlecchino, mainly because of the fact that although she cannot be healed, the healing that she does receive turns into Bond of Life, meaning that having a healer isn't too useless, and it's also good for not just her, but for her other teammates' survivability. Baizhu is a great character for Clorinde because of the fact his healing is amazing, but since one of her best teams is a Quicken team and he's a Dendro character, which is the element needed to trigger this reaction, he's also a good option for those teams. He also offers an extra bit of survivability than other healers because of his shield and his ease of use. There are of course scenarios where you wouldn't want to use Baiju like in a Taser team, but for the Dendro teams I would say he's the best pick. But then there's also Yaimiko, who is basically like Fischl because they play the same exact role as being an off-field electro sub DPS character, and they both do their job insanely well. The only main difference with Yaimiko and Fischl is that Fischl spends less time on field and is a more choppy character, whereas Yaimiko has all these fancy animations and has a longer field time requirement. But if you do have both and don't have a Fischl built as well as your Yaimiko, then you could use her, and the same thing goes with Yaimiko. If you have invested more materials into Fischl and she does more damage, then you can use her. Or if you want to use Fischl in a Neuvillette team on the other side of the abyss, you can, and then on the other side you can just use Yaimiko with Clorinde. But anyway, now let's shift to an overload-oriented Clorinde, who would to no one's surprise want to be paired up with Chevreuse, who is the queen of overload teams because of how helpful her buffs are. If you plan on running an overload team with Clorinde, Chevreuse can buff the reaction damage by a ton, and as long as you have Clorinde and another electro character, you will consistently be triggering overload and getting stacks for her passive. And if you want to run a team with Clorinde as the main DPS, Fischl as the sub DPS, Chevreuse as the support, and Xiangling as the other sub DPS, Chevreuse would be able to battery and give energy to Xiangling, making her a great option for Chevreuse overload teams. Then I'm going to talk about Haidehara Kazuha. Kazuha is another character that is used in a lot of different teams because of the amount of utility and support he brings to these teams. When you pair him and Clorinde together, just by him swirling electro with his elemental skill can give Clorinde a stack on her passive, and this increases her damage. But on top of that, his skill will also buffer and provide crowd control, making it easier for her to hit the enemies and make sure that they're not so spread apart. Alongside that, he is also Animo, meaning that since he's a support character, you can use him with Verdicent Veneer and add its buffs as well, making Kazuha such a great character and one that I will 100% recommend you use in a team with Clorinde. He isn't going to be in every team because you can of course go Kazuha less, but for example, if you wanted to play the team I mentioned before, which was a Clorinde Quicken team, Kazuha is a good pick. He can also be paired with a lot of the current best DPS characters we have right now, like Arlecchino and Neuvillette, so he's an overall great pull for your account in general. The last two characters I'm going to be talking about is Xingqiu number 1 and Xingqiu number 2. Yelan is an amazing sub DPS character who provides a lot of damage for the team from off field and synergizes very well with Clorinde because she wants to spend most of her time on field anyway, and Yelan actually has a passive that boosts the on field character's damage over time, and Clorinde easily takes advantage of this. And since she's going to be doing a lot of normal attacks, that means she can continuously proc Yelan's dice attacks, and that leads to a lot of damage. The original Xingqiu is on the same boat as Yelan, although he doesn't provide the buffs that Yelan does. He can bring interruption resistance and applies a lot more hydro than Yelan, which I don't think really matters, but it's a thing. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, wanna like, subscribe, and join my Discord down below. I'm hosting a giveaway right now and you don't want to miss it. I plan on hosting many more and I hope to see you there. Let me know your thoughts on this video and please check out Loot Bar to save some money when spending on Genshin. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.